All right, so I'm just going to quickly run you through the breakdown of the boxes for the retreat. Open this one. Okay, beautiful. That's your big box one of four. You've got your back panel, which is a solid panel all the way, and it'll have the heaters on this side. So there's your power connection points. That's where your bench seat's going to go. That's your phone compartment and your rear heaters. And there's your fully assembled door frame. So basically you'll take the whole lot out and that'll all get assembled in one hit. So it just means it makes it a bit easier for making all that. When you're working on it, set that up so that it's sitting upright, ready to go. And you can just move it around from that position. Box 2 of 4. Now this one, basically it's got your side panels in it. You'll have a look, these are just opposing sides, but basically you've got, that's your, looking from the front, that's your left side. It's got the control panel at the top. That's where all of your connection goes for the your seat area. And on this one, that's your bottom right side looking from the front. And basically, yeah, that's the other part of your bench, all good to go. Box 3 of 4. All right, so that's your base panel. That's the first thing to go down. That's the front here. You've got the extra port there for plugging your red light in, and basically then you've got the bench panels, and in behind there is the ceiling panel. So that's your box 3. All right, so with your ceiling panel, what I want you to do is just to grab it, lay it down, and you just want to take this the roof panel right off. So just undo those. So just grab that ceiling panel out and put that to the side. And basically in here you'll find that there is your door handle. And this is an ionizer. Your choice of whether you want to install that or not. Last but not least, box 4. And that one's got your heaters in it. Just be careful to put gloves on when you're handling this one, because you don't want to get dirty fingerprints all over those stainless heaters. So what I like to do is to get all the panels out. Get rid of the cardboard out of the way, just get all the panels sort of leaning up in the area where you're going to be assembling, and basically have it all ready to just install really quickly. So we've got that back panel in place, we've got our base in place, so we're going to now bring the side walls in and start to connect those. And those come in here, there's a interlocking device here that we're going to be connecting. So you're going to see this edge, which is a tongue, and it fits into this groove here. So basically we're going to be aligning those together. So there's 3 of those down the side. We've got to get them to align as we assemble. So what I do is I just make sure this base panel is hard up against the back. And I slide this over. I'm going to be just lifting this slightly to be able to then sit down into here. So I get that generally in alignment. Then I lift this panel up until that tongue goes in. There we are. Locate that and just pull it down. Same with this other side. So I just basically push the base in so it's hard up. Same again with this side wall. Just coming closer. So I'm just lifting it up to get that top one. The base in. What we'll do is put the ceiling on. So before I put the ceiling on, I just get these wires and get them out to the back. Just get them out of the way while the ceiling panel goes in. So with your ceiling panel, Vent, that's the back. So this is your front. So all I'm going to do is lifting that up, putting it in location up here. Slide all the way back. Pull the sides in. So that's all of these to there. So now we're at the front panelling piece. While it's nice and open, I'll just put the bench piece in. That just locates in the groove on each side. Slides down. In under the bench here, we just connect our H1, not lead 1, we've got lead 2 and lead 3, and then we've got our DC 240 volt into that corner. So it's a fairly simple setup for the electrical connection under the bench. With your bench seat, there's a capping piece on the front, and there's these two little stops on the back, on the underside, and they're just what stops this from moving forward. So you just come straight in, butt it down to it, whoop, and just push it in as far as it goes, and just pull that forward slightly to get that. Just pull that forward slightly, and it'll just butt down into place there. All right, so the last part of the assembly is getting that front piece on. I've got a wedge that I'm using for this, which I use under the sides. So where the other ones were, you had to lift the side panel on and drop down, with these ones, with the front panel, you've got to lift it up into the side panels. So what I do is use a small wedge just to put underneath that side, just to lift it up, and that allows you then to lower it down into this front panel. So I just put that wedge underneath that side. So basically now I've got this one already starting to bed in. So all I need to do is to keep going in with this. Just use my wedge. Yep, that's in. That's in. So now just take my wedge out, and it drops down into place. Lock it. Just get this wedge underneath. So just use my wedge just to lift it up a little bit and get that into position. Now I can just release that wedge and push it all down. That locks it into place. All right, so we're just going to finish putting the heaters in. So with these, just understand that for the first couple of times that you use them, a little bit of that black fur is probably going to come off, so the heat's going to release a little bit. So just the first couple of uses, you just want a dustpan and broom just to clean that away on the floor. But basically, they've got a plug in the bottom that pulls out of that bottom section, and I just plug that in. And on the back here, we've got these screws. Oh, always wear gloves when you're dealing with these heaters. Just means that you won't put fingerprints on them when you install them, and they'll look great from the day one. That's just as simple now, just a lining from the outside, bring that through. Do that up. Similarly for this one. Now similarly for the other side, but you will need a hand with this one because the door is in the way. So next exercise is to fit the door handle. So you've got the finished one on the outside, the raw timber on the inside. So I just basically run it through there, put it through. Same again. And I'll just do those up.
Good night.
All right. Now you'll be interested to know that this actually acts as a tablet cradle, so you can actually put your tablet or phone on the outside, close it up so you can watch it while you're inside enjoying your sauna. All right, so the last thing to do is to just go through and connect all the wiring and put your ceiling cap back on. So all of these are marked. So I've got a T1 going to a T1, heater 1. I've got this wire, and they'll just all clip together, so it's all quite simple. I've got these two across the back, and this one, so I've got these. Clipping, that's the heater 3, heater 2 is that one, heater 2, so they're all marked. So you just go through one by one, connect them all off, make sure they're fully plugged in, and just make sure they're also clear and in those grooves so that they, when you put your ceiling lid on, they're all contained. I'll just go over to the other side. Okay, so over on this side, again, we've got 2 more cables to connect at the front here. Plug those in, plug that in, and I just run those through that groove as well so that they are out of the way. And similarly at the back here, lastly these ones here connect, and the small one here. That's all of that done. I also just make sure all of the switches, the plugs in the back of the control box are all plugged in fully, just in case something had moved in transit. And basically, now we're ready, we can just put that ceiling cap on. Okay, so I'm just going to put the ceiling panel on now. So these cutouts here are for directly above the control box. That's where your main power cable is going to come through. And these little holes here are directly above the ventilation hatch. So basically we set that up and it'll come onto the roof in this manner, over the top. So I'm just going to pull my power cable through, make sure it's in the groove so it's not standing up. Locate that in place and I'll put some screws in it. And finish that off all around, and pretty much we're ready to go. Plug it in and Bob's your uncle.